Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock God Rick Maxa.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. As we heard in the first half of the show, Pete's down in the East Cape at Palmas de Cortez on our 22nd annual Palmas de Cortez Fall Spectacular Tournament. Having a great time fishing with the boys, and there's some good fishing going down in the East Cape. And, boy, there's some good fishing going on up here. We're going to be telling you all about it in the second hour. We got catch reports coming up, more of your phone calls, and more with the man. Captain Art Taylor of the Searcher is joining us. We got another full hour, and if you want to be a part of that full hour, give us a call. We're going to be taking a lot of your phone calls here. 858 area code 457-1090. Again, 858-457-1090. That's our local number. Or you can reach us toll-free at toll-free line 877-792-1090. Again, 877-792-1090. That's the number to reach us here on Let's Talk Hookup. And not only are we going to be taking your phone calls and having Art answering your questions, giving away such a killer prize. If you didn't hear in the first half of the show, a brand new pair of Maui Jim sunglasses is coming your way. It's the Surf Rider frame, which is a great pair of fisherman-friendly style glasses from Maui Jim. It's the tortoise frame with those great HCL bronze lens and that super thin glass that makes Maui Jim so fantastic. And a brand new pair of Maui Jims is going to one lucky caller at 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. Now it is time for the catch report. We're going to find out what's biting out there, which today is sponsored in part by Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Fisherman's Processing is San Diego's finest, and that's why they're known as the Fish Pros. And once you try them, you'll be hooked. You can get filleted fish, vacuum-packed fish, all to your specs, as well as the best smoked fish, jerky, and those famous tuna burgers. Check fishermansprocessing.com for more details, or you can see them when your trip returns to the San Diego landing. Let's start it off with our fishdope.com report with the man, Captain Mark Wish, our private boater buddies on the line. What's up, Mark?
Morning, Ricky. Good morning, Art.
Morning.
So, here we go, guys. First week October, and definitely seeing some signs of seasonal change. You know, the leaves are turning. Canada geese have migrated down to the Navy base across from the shop, and it's almost chilly when I walk the dog in the morning now. So things are definitely changing a little bit, but fishing's still good. And let me hit a few highlights here for you. Catalina, still some yellows around and some good ones. It's a little slower, definitely, than it's been, but still pretty good fishing. Best zone this week here has been pretty much off the east end sector there. And also in that same area, lots of nice bonita, that Church Rock to Avalon zone there. And the beauty of those bonitas, they're fun to catch, and they're also excellent lobster baits if you guys are over there hooping. Hooping's been good at Catalina. It's been all the way from 20 feet to 200 plus if you want to fish that deep, but lots of bugs and some really good quality over there. At Santa Barbara Island, there's quite a bit of squid around. Some of the commercial fleet's working up there, but no good reports of exotics. You know, cod fishing's always good, but no exotics that I've heard of anyway. At San Nicolas, the big wind earlier in the week kind of rolled that water. It got really green and dropped a few degrees, and much tougher on the yellows here the past couple of days, but wide open cods and ling cods like normal there. And at San Clemente Island, this is where it starts getting much more interesting, guys. Lots of options at that island. The yellowtail bit really good yesterday. Nice grade of fish, 12 to 20s. Most of that fish, well, not most, but many of the fish caught on the iron. And flat calm conditions, if I was hanging out around that Pyramid Head zone, you'd definitely be in the area. It's good fishing yesterday. And then about those bluefin tunas, you know, they're still around, and some good ones. Fished 85 pounds this week. But between the weather earlier in the week and the Navy last few days, they've been conspiring against us here. But both those handicaps are backing off here now. Clemente's open, and the weather's very good right now. So the key there is you got to have some of that squid. If you get the live, you're really in business. They'll buy you a little bit of frozen, too, for sure. But they are really keyed in on that squid. And the best way to fish those is with a little sinker rig, whether you're looping on a torpedo with the rubber band or using a slider. Either way, you want to get your bait down 50 to 150 feet like that. Some nice fish around, and it'll be interesting to see how long that lasts. And then another bonus around that island, there's good sprinkle of marlin around the east end, kind of from the 289 into the head and then down the canyon a little bit toward the 43, kind of the better area marlin for what's been going on the last few days. And probably about this time tomorrow, I'll be sitting in the bridge of a 35 Cabo with the jigs deployed, listening to that sonar clicking away and scanning in the gyros for sleepers and tailors.
That does not sound like a bad spot to be, Mark. Well, certainly some really good fishing going on right now, and this is always the time where we say that this is the time of year where it pays so much to have fish dope. You know, Art was talking at the beginning of the show how important it is to have a network of good fishing information, and if you don't have a network of sport boats to work with, information is everything, and you can have that network just by getting on to fishdope.com, saving $20 with a brand new subscription if you punch in the code HOOKUPNOW. Hookup Now, it's all lowercase, no space, and all that information is going to be at your fingertips. And, Mark, I know you would say the same, that there's nothing more important than good information when you're going fishing.
Oh, you got to have the information, man. It's amazing how much of our work is done long before we leave the dock. Just checking in with the boys, and you just have to get a sense of what's going on, and that's where Danny and Jeff and everybody at Fish Dope do such a fantastic job. They just make so much of that info available to people that don't normally have the opportunity to get it.
Well said, man. Well, good luck tomorrow. Glad you're getting out and going to make it happen. And if somebody wants to find out what's going on at Pacific Edge and get one of the best bait tanks in the business and the great information, I know you guys do a lot of hoop net gear, all the great stuff going on at Pacific Edge. Mark, how do we find you?
Ricky, we're on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger in Huntington Beach. The phone number is 714-840-4262, and the website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And I got to tell you, Ricky, almost every single week, several people come in and say, "I heard you on the show."
Well,
yeah, people are listening.
I know a good buddy of mine is in the looking to upgrade his bait tank, and he sent me a couple of messages on Facebook back and forth. Said, "I got a big tank, but we want a bigger one." And I know that they're eyeballing that same tank that you put on our boat. And I told him, like, man, I just hope you know that all the good words I said about it is not for any blowing smoke, or it's not for BS because of the radio show or anything. Like, that thing is awesome, and we are so stoked on it and can't say enough good things. So, Mark, appreciate you making the best tanks and giving us a great report. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Okay, you got it, Ricky. We'll have something interesting for you. We'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. Let's head on now down to San Diego, over to Seaforth Sport Fishing, and talk to our buddy Marcos. Marcos, what's going on at Seaforth?
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Doing great. Good morning.
Well, it's the end of October here, and we have pretty much the same fishing we've had for a while here. The half-day trip, still catching a lot of rockfish on there. They're starting to pick away at some bonito, some bass in the mix there. Pretty solid fishing. We've had some nice weather. It looks like a very nice day today. The 3-quarter day trips, the San Diego is actually fishing the Coronado Islands now. They have been for about a week. So, again, very good fishing on that trip, yellowtail and bonito. And if you're going to do that one, just a reminder, fishing the Coronado Islands, a passport is required. The overnight boats fishing offshore there, still catching fish on there. Starting to see some yellowfin on there, yellowfin, dorado, yellowtail. About like I said, what we've seen for the last few weeks here. So overall, very good fishing. And like we talk about every October, we're going to keep running trips as long as people are interested there. And what tends to happen at this point of the year is fishing's great and interest dies off and they can't sustain those trips. So if you want to see some fishing, definitely make some reservations. Seaforthlanding.com. You can go online there, check out our full schedule, half day, 3-quarter day, those overnights. Starting to run some day and a half there, so you definitely have a lot of options. You can make your reservations online yourself, or you can always give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. Come down, visit us in person, and we'll definitely get you set up and get you out there fishing.
Fish are biting, the loads are light. It's definitely a really good time to go. It's when the locals all go. Like I say, there's half the people, but still very good biting fish. And I know that some of that local yellowtail that they are catching is of really nice quality, too.
There's a lot of fish out there still to be caught. And like you said, the weather's nice. The loads tend to be a lot smaller now than they are during the summer. And so, depending on what trip you're going on, just make sure you still have your gear out, and we'll take you out there fishing. Again, just a reminder, those passports are required for those trips fishing the islands. You're probably going to start seeing more of those as they start moving down there.
Good call and a really good reminder, Marcos. One more time, shoot us the information if somebody wants to book a spot to go fishing on, whether it be a local trip, a day-and-a-half trip, half-day, all the great stuff going on at Seaforth.
Seaforthlanding.com. Our full schedule's up there. You can make the reservations online directly. You can come down to the office, or you can give us a call, 619-224-3383. And just a warning, another thing that we see a lot of at this time of the year, a lot of events at the beach on the weekends. Like I said, the crowds have died down a bit, but there's lots of marathons, half marathons, triathlons, So just coming to the beach in general, just be careful, give yourself a little extra time getting to the beach, and like I said, we'll get you out there fishing.
Great call, Marcos. Appreciate it. Great report, as always. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
We'll talk to you then, guys.
Thanks, Marcos. So that's going to wrap up our catch report today. Again, sponsored in part by Gamakatsu Hooks, Japan's leading fish hook that sets the standard for quality and innovation and strength and durability. And, hey, the summer season is still going on. We're moving into the fall. Fall's a great time when you have opportunities at yellowtail and those bigger bluefin, and that Gamakatsu Nautilus Circle Hook is a perfect hook for your fall bluefin. If you want more information, you can get it at your local tackle store, or you can always check out Gamakatsu on the website, but check out that Gamakatsu Nautilus Circle Hook, light wire, makes it easy to pin your baits on, and more importantly, help them put your fish on the deck. Phones are absolutely packed solid, the only line open, toll-free, 877-792-1090. Again, 877-792-1090. Your chance to get through. Let's talk to the man, one of the Let's Talk Hookup crew, Gary White from Lawndale's on the line. What's up, Gary?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning, Gary.
I had a thing I wanted to tell Art that my first tuna trip, productive tuna trip, was on the Searcher back in the 90s where we limited out in yellowfin. And just like Dave was saying, he was wearing a shirt and was recognized. I was at Bass Pro Shops in Las Vegas this last Wednesday, and all of a sudden I heard somebody say, Gary. And I turned around. It was two guys who were Let's Talk Hookup listeners, and they go to the live radio show there at the Hyatt at the Fred Hall Long Beach show.
That's cool.
And also, Art, I wanted to know, what is your latest upgrades to the boat?
Well, we talked about it earlier in the show, but the new bait tank with larger bait capacity and just more room on the back deck back there has been the probably the most recent upgrade. And we've done some interior stuff to the galley too. We covered up the old 30-year Formica with stainless steel, and so that brightened that place up, and new upholstery, new carpeting that we try and keep up on, and so that's one of the improvements as well. And a couple of years ago, we reconfigured 4 of the cabins in the aft stateroom compartment there to make the bunks a little wider and a little more comfortable. So every year we try and do something to make it better for the customers.
One thing we hear a lot about in the shop, people that have concerns that use a CPAP machine or some type of a breathing device, do all the rooms have electrical outlets, or there opportunities
Absolutely,
for guys?
yeah. There's a 110-volt outlet in each room.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I wanted to say that you have an amazing website. I was looking at that, and wow, how entertaining is that?
Well, thank you, Gary. Chad has been our web guy now for over 20 years, and he and Celia and Jen do a great job of maintaining it and keeping it fresh, so thank you very much.
Gary, I know you spent a lot of days on the deck of the Searcher. Pretty darn fun boat, isn't it?
Yeah, like you said, the ride is unmatched. It's great.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. Gary, appreciate the phone call. Thanks for the stories.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot for that. Let's jump back into them. This time we're going to talk to Mo. Mo's calling us from Vista this morning. Hi, Mo. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Yeah, hey, Art, you're talking about your sonar, and I was just wondering, why do you set it at 500 feet, and what angle do you put it at?
Boy, I don't know if I can divulge that.
Okay.
No. 500 feet would be the range out, distance away from the boat. And
right.
Typically, there's a setting on there for angle. And, if we're fishing offshore, the majority of the fish that we see on the sonar are 90 to 120 feet deep. So we set the beam at around 10 degrees or 12 degrees angle there, so that the middle of the beam or the searchlight beam is at that depth. And so that there's by changing what they call the tilt of the transducer, then it shows you what depth the middle of the beam is by when you adjust that. And so anywhere from 90 to 100 feet is probably the 120 feet is where we primarily have the setting.
That's where most commonly you see schools in the water column, so that's where you focus the majority. It doesn't mean that you won't pick them off above it or pick them off below that.
Right, and it varies depending upon weather. You know, sometimes if it's choppy, then we got to go a little deeper, and if it's really flat calm and the fish are up on top, then we'll have it right up there on the surface too. So conditions dictate what angle that beam is.
In general, is there a depth of water that the fish tend to bite or not bite better? And when you're looking, you know, if you see all the fish that we're marking are deep, they're 120 feet or they're 220 feet, or you know, is there a depth where when you see fish down there, but you know, man, once they're that deep, they just don't traditionally come up, or is that not necessarily?
Well, anything below 200 feet, you know, then you know, we'll drive around with the depth sounder at a deeper setting, and you see fish at 300 feet, or you see them at 350 feet, and you do everything that you can, and they're feeding on something at that depth, and they're not interested in at certain times of the day. In the past, we've seen it that the fish are up closer to the surface, and I think it depends on, you know, the water column, where they're the most comfortable and where their food source is at. Sure. And so I would say that if the fish are down there 300 to 400 feet deep, then we're probably less likely to get a bite off of them.
Now, if they're more shallow, are they more susceptible to being caught, or is that not necessarily the case?
Not necessarily the case. I mean, you know, that bluefin tuna that was around that 43 was a perfect example. It was laying on the surface.
It was literally
didn't make any difference
difference.
what setting your sonar was on. You couldn't get them to bite. So
okay,
yeah,
good question. Hey, Mo, appreciate the phone call very much. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great information. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Mighty 1090.
Hey everybody, this is Captain Dwayne Diego, 4-pack charter captain, here to talk to you about Parker Boats and the good folks at West Coast Marine. When it came time to start pinnacle sport fishing and get my own boat, there was only one choice. I wanted a Parker, and there's a real good reason for it: the fishability and seaworthiness. I've been fishing on Parkers for years now, and I know the abuse they can take. Parker Marine builds a heavy-duty, industrial-strength boat, probably overbuilt, but that's what I need when we're out 12 hours a day, over 300 days a year, running charters. The guys at West Coast Marine built me one heck of a fishing boat. From the custom tower with steering and throttle controls to the backup bait pump system, my Parker 2520 XLD will deliver me to the fishing grounds reliably and safe. Take it from me. If you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, honest deal, you need to see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine, located at 1555 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check them out and their inventory and information online at westcoastmarine.com.
This is Rick Jensen with Sport Fishing Financial. I think most of you get that I'm a fisherman and work with the fishing community, but to understand exactly what Sport Fishing Financial does, ask yourself these 4 questions. First, do you really know how much money you'll need in order to retire comfortably? Next, do you know how much you'll have to save on a regular basis to reach that number? Do you have a process that includes a proven investment strategy and confidence that the money you save will grow? Last, do you have a plan for how to turn your savings into retirement income? If you don't have good answers to these questions, you're not alone. But you should, and I can make sure you do. In addition, if you own a business and currently provide or are planning on providing a retirement savings plan for yourself or your employees, we should really talk. We offer an outstanding variety of creative solutions that are sure to meet your needs.
Some of our listeners may feel overwhelmed. Others may believe they are already doing the best they can. In either case, I bet Rick can help. Set a time to meet with him and start planning for your personal or business investment success. Find Rick on the web at sportfishingfinancial.com or give him a call at 949-481-1807.
All right, it's time for our 60-second Power Pro seminar. On your next fishing trip, you got to be sure to get that Power Pro advantage. And as we transition into the fall and winter time, it starts to be all about that big fish, long range. And in the tackle store, this is when we do a lot of that big fish rigging, and that is where the Power Pro Hollow Ace really shines in rigging for your big fish. Any type of connection that involves that line-to-line splice, that hollow insert connection, whether you're doing a Sato crimp or a nub knot or any of those types of things where you're inserting your mono or fluorocarbon into your hollow spectra, you will love Hollow Ace. It's a 16-carrier spectra, and the more strands in that weave, once your spectra's opened up, make it so much easier to run your hollow needles or your fluorocarbon inside of that hollow core of the Hollow Ace spectra. It is the very best line for rigging, splicing loops, splicing lines. It's awesome. You're going to absolutely love it. Check it out, Hollow Ace, at your favorite tackle store, or for more information, check out PowerPro.com.
Saturday, November 5th, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. It's our largest sale ever. Plenty of seminars by saltwater experts, incredible deals on tackle, closeouts we've never offered before. Plus, over 20 tackle manufacturers representatives like Shimano, with great reels like Talica, Tranx, Trinidad A, and Twin Power. We also have a great selection of the new Terramar rods by Shimano. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing will have unbelievable pricing on tackle, clothing, and accessories. There is also a huge raffle, best ever tackle bargains at Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 5th.
If the fish are biting, I'm on my boat, rain or shine. Of course, I wear my life jacket. It's like wearing a seatbelt. Clip it on, grab my tackle box, and hit the water.
Love California, vote California, save California. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
It's time to get outside on the east side and celebrate fall colors, arts, culture, and recreation in the Eastern Sierra. From now until the first snow, there are a variety of activities that capture the essence of autumn. In addition to enjoying fall color viewing, the season hosts fishing derbies and biking events to theater performances, a kite festival, and art festivals. Check out the Outside on the East Side details on the Fall Colors page at visitmammoth.com. That's visitmammoth.com.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere. Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Lots of fun here going on. Captain Art Taylor from The Searcher. Been a very busy morning. Phones have been packed solid. There's 2 open phone lines if you want to get through a great opportunity right now. 858 area code 457 1090. Again, 858 457 1090, or toll free at 877 792 1090. The phones are packed up. Everybody's excited to talk to Art. Let's jump right into the phones and talk to Don, who's calling us from Woodland Hills this morning. Don, thanks for hanging in there with us.
Hey, Art, I want to thank you for 20 years ago, and I went on my first day and a half trip with you, and it's been multi-day trips since then. The Searcher is one of the greatest boats I've ever fished on.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words, Don.
The crew and everything, and, nothing beats like the way a wood boat rides, man. It's a great boat. And my question today was kind of for Rick. Rick, I'm looking to buy one of the smaller 2-speeds, and I'm looking at either maybe an Avid Raptor, or on the lower end of it, the Penn Fathom. What do you think between the two? I know you got a lot of everything there at Fisherman's Landing, man. What do you think?
Yeah,
what's your opinion?
I think that those are both two very cool reels. I would say you're looking at pretty majorly differing price points. So
right.
there's a few options. The Fathom is one of my more favorite reels for not spending a lot of dough and having a really nice performing 2-speed.
How's the durability on it? I mean, is it?
I would say good. They're still a relatively new reel, but if they were problematic, you would certainly know about it.
Right. I'm just kind of a diehard Shimano guy, so it's hard for me to switch either way.
See, I get exactly what you're saying, and that's why I had the teeny bit of hesitation answering this. If you were talking about a really nice 2-speed that doesn't break the bank, the Fathom is probably one of my favorites. It's awesome. It's lightweight, it has good free spool, good drags, good torque. It's a really nice reel at not a lot of money. Not that an Avid Raptor isn't a great reel also. There's a ton of people that fish them and have caught a bunch of fish with them. it's solely my personal opinion that if I were spending that much money, I would go the route of a Talica. I think that the Avette Raptor is close
all right.
close.
Well, then you just answered my question. Hey, we were out at the 43 yesterday on my skiff and got into some 40-60 pound yellowfin. It was great.
Awesome. What a cool deal. And then how cool of a season has it been, Don, that size of fish has been available to the private boater virtually all year?
Hey, it's been crazy. Look at the bluefin, the size of and the quality of the bluefin that we've had here. It's
awesome.
Just unbelievable. It's nothing like I've seen in my 60 years.
I'll tell you one thing, Don, whatever decision you make, but whether it be that Fathom, that Raptor, or the Talica, you're certainly looking at some very, very nice options there for sure.
Yeah, I ran into you in the first week of July when I was going out on the Pacific Quest down at Fisherman's, man.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear it, Don.
Well, hey, Art, I thank you for getting me into the long range thing. Man, the Searcher's one of the best boats I've fished out of San Diego, and I thank you guys for everything.
Thank you very much, Don, and we'll look forward to seeing you again.
No, your crew's the greatest. I think I still got a 20-year-old Searcher T-shirt somewhere in one of my drawers.
All right,
that's cool, Don.
Thank you.
Appreciate the phone call very much. I know that Steve Carson, fished on the boat quite a bit with you. I know was on that one of those first trips that went down to the ridge there, and I know you were shaking your head in approval on when he was thinking about that Penn Fathom.
Absolutely. We've got a couple that we've had for a couple of years that, they just came out, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. So we got some of the prototypes that we use for boat rods and reels. And, man, they stand up to the punishment that we give them. And those are awesome reels. I really like those Fathoms. They're good.
If they can live up to boat life, they're doing things okay.
Exactly.
That's cool. Hey, let's jump right back into the phones. We got a guy on the line that knows all about fishing on the Searcher, and talk about a guy that knows something about some cool two-speeds. Jack Urett is on the line. Jack Nielsen from Accurate's on the line. Good morning, Jack.
Hey, good morning. I just wanted to say hello, Art.
Mr. Nielsen, good morning.
Well, good morning. I want to pass on my agreement with the accolades for the boat and the operation you run.
Thank you, sir.
I think we run probably 3 trips a year with Gary Gillingham. We have the hook and hand program, just an excellent operation. Gentlemen, everyone on that deck that works for Art is a gentleman.
No doubt.
Absolutely. And we have a trip coming up, Art. I think we have a 7-day.
Yeah, it's in 3 weeks. Yeah. In 2 weeks, actually. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I don't know if there's any spots, but everyone could be reminded that we'll bring lots of gear. I think we're going to put another set on the boat called the Fury 300, which is going to amaze you.
Cool.
A tiny little reel, about 9.9 ounces, and people are doing 50-pound fish on it. So.
Wow.
I think we're going to leave one with you just to play with and have some fun, okay?
That's cool.
Sounds
Jack.
great, Jack. Thank you so much for the support. Those hook and hand outfits, people love to use them, and they caught a lot of fish this year.
Explain that, Art. What is it that we're talking about?
Well, Accurate Products and Secret Rods have provided us with a half a dozen two-speed outfits that, we put fresh Iser line on, and the crew fishes and hooks a fish and hands it off to the customer, and they get to land it and get to use that Accurate reel and Secret rod, and they're just awesome outfits. We have 30-pound and 50-pound outfits, and we've caught a lot of fish with those things, and people have gotten to use them, and
cool.
We hope that they've come up to the tackle store and bought an Accurate reel or a Secret rod in after they've experienced that. So it's been a great program, and Jack and the guys at Accurate have sponsored us with those outfits, and it's much appreciated.
That's
and
cool.
They get used.
What a good call on both you guys. I mean, a great way to get the gear out there and get to hook and hand somebody, especially somebody struggling or starting to do it. I'm sure you can attest to that, and you too, Jack. I know you've seen it firsthand a lot of times. How many times?
I've struggled. Okay, everybody struggles. But my idea was someone first or second time on a trip, getting your bait away from the boat and doing the little tricky things to get bit. It can get frustrating sometimes, especially if you're new to it. So we thought, you know what? Let's put some rigs on there and let people pull on fish rather than have a day where they're frustrated.
I couldn't agree.
And hopefully they'll get that good warm vibe for accurate.
I like it. And what I was going to say is I'm sure you both have seen it. How many times has a guy been just snake bit, having a tough time, and then hook and hand the first fish, and then just whatever reason that's the icebreaker, and watch him just go on and get bit a ton of times over for the rest of the trip. And you see it time and time again. There's something about that icebreaker that just that can be very necessary.
We had a 5-day trip recently that were up there towards San Clemente on that yellowfin tuna, and Aaron just one bait after another on those hook and hand outfits, and we were able to just keep everybody busy with that by hooking in hand, and he'd run up to the bow and cast a bait, and he'd be yelling for somebody that hadn't caught a fish or somebody that needed one or anything like that, and it was great. And we also use them as loaner gear too. Sure. Somebody comes on the boat and needs a 40 or 50 pound outfit and doesn't have a 2-speed, then we give them one of those hook and hand outfits, and it's been a great program, a great sponsorship, and we're very grateful for that.
All good. Thank you.
Jack, appreciate the phone call, buddy. Everything going good with you?
Everything's good. I'm going fishing here on the Liberty this coming week, overnight with the Hall family.
Yeah.
And then I'm taking off for Puerto Vallarta. I'm going to do a 4-day on the Rooster. Kind of a new, unique concept that the Rooster is doing. They're doing back-to-back 4-day trips down in Puerto Vallarta. Totally sold out this year, but next year, kind of look for it. It's a cool way to go fish big fish on a big boat, and only take four days to do it. So
the rough life of Jack here, buddy.
Okay.
Keep on him, Jack.
Right.
Appreciate that, and I'll look forward to seeing you when you come down on the Liberty. I'll look forward to seeing you down there at the landing this week.
Thanks, Jack.
See you, Jack. Appreciate the kind words. Take care. All right, let's jump right back into the phones. Jimmy from Green Valley Lakes on the line. What's up, Jimmy? Good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, Art.
Good morning, Jimmy.
Hey, good seeing you there. Good seeing you at the CCA, Ricky.
Yeah, Jimmy, that was a fun night for sure. That was a lot of fun. Great fundraiser from CCA there at Portuguese Hall. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, my question is, Art, you were gracious enough to donate a trip. I was the lucky winner of that day and a half.
Awesome.
Nice.
And I was wondering if I could pay more money and make that a 3-day or a 4-day.
You know, I got to check with the boss on that. But I'll make a note, Jimmy, that you won that at the CCA, and I'm sure we can figure something out for you.
Speaking of the boss, and a good Jimmy, thanks a lot for the phone call. Congratulations on winning that too. That was a fun night and way to participate in the CCA. Speaking of the boss, we'd be in trouble if we didn't talk about your lovely wife Celia and what a great job. You know, we talk about the Searcher family, and it's easy to talk about how good of a job Aaron does, and yourself and Ryan, all the guys on the boat. But boy, it starts with the first phone call, and Celia is so awesome, and we get to work with Celia firsthand a lot because she's always checking people in the office. But boy, you want to talk about completing the Searcher family? That's it.
That's it. Celia and Jen. Celia does a great job, and you can tell it's her boat. And
right.
She's very, very passionate about making sure that all the details are taken care of, and she's very detail-oriented herself, and so, she makes sure that all the customers get all the details, and, so that there's no surprises when you come down to the dock and you're ready to check in, and she's got all the I's dotted and the T's crossed for everybody, and does just a fantastic job, and we wouldn't be where we're at if it wasn't for her.
No doubt. It's so nice being on the passenger side of things, knowing that as questions arise or you just have concerns, or this is my first time going on, I've done day and a half with you, but I've never done a 6-day, and it's so nice knowing you can pick up the phone call, and there's always somebody that's so happy and friendly and just on top of things when you call the Searcher office.
Absolutely. And Jennifer Kim is a great addition to our team as well. She's family, and
that's awesome.
We're looking forward to getting her back in the office here as soon as possible.
The social media star of the Searcher.
Absolutely.
The reason everybody knows who Boots is.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, Jan is a very, very important part of our operation, so we're looking forward to getting her back.
Yep, that's for sure. Hey, let's jump right back into the phone. Jimmy, again, appreciate the phone call. John in Lakeside, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, John.
Good morning, Rick and Art. How are you?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Great show, great fishing yacht, not a boat. Anyways, I just got a question for Art. I know his crystal ball is probably broken, but I got a question about these local bluefin. Do you think those fish are still, they're going to stay here all year or migrate away from here? Just your personal thoughts, Art. I know you can't foresee the future, but what do you think, sir?
Well, I think that body of fish is kind of, hanging out in the, the northern Baja to the Channel Islands, and I think that is, a body of fish that's been around for a really long time, and I don't see any reason why it won't be around for years to come. It's growing, obviously,
Sure.
And I think that, it's going to be a fishery that we have an opportunity at various times during the year to capitalize on. And so I would anticipate having bluefin around for a lot of years to come. There is a tremendous amount of fish around, and it's just a case of, us getting to it and whether it bites or not. And obviously, northern Baja and Southern California is a very, very rich environment, and there's a food source out there for them. And so I would anticipate for a lot of years to come that we're going to have bluefin tuna in our catches.
There were a few days this year that were they were mind-blowing. The amount of fish that were out there. And just like anything else, you could drive out the next day and be 10 miles to the west and not know that it was there. But there was some days this year where it was just everywhere. Not only was it everywhere, but it was just showing itself everywhere, whether it's just these big Nat Geo foamers or just giant breezers, where not having nearly a trained eye like an Art Taylor or an Aaron Remy, but like you'd see, like, oh, that is a breezer. And then all of a sudden you'd get a bigger scope of it, and you'd realize that it was what you thought was a wind line that looked like it was a half a mile long, was just giant schools of fish. It was incredible to get to see this year, and it's pretty comforting knowing that, you hear the things about, fish stocks and things that are in jeopardy or not, and not to say that they are or aren't, but it was sure nice knowing that there was that much fish off our coast this year.
There are thousands of tons of bluefin around, and so I'm encouraged by that. I think that, like I said, we're going to have opportunities for bluefin tuna, hopefully for a lot of years to come.
That's cool. Hey, appreciate the phone call very much,
Thank
John.
Thank you for taking my call.
You got it, buddy.
You.
Thanks a lot for that. How about next we talk to Charlie? He's calling us from Gardena this morning. Hey, Charlie, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Rick. Art, how are you guys?
Doing well.
Hey, Charlie?
Well, I had a question for you, Art. Could you explain your kite procedure, your rotation? How does it work on your boat?
Most of the time we put one kite up just because it's manageable, and it makes it so that we don't have to take a couple guys off of the deck taking care of people that are catching fish. We have put two kites up in the past, but we try to stick with one. And the rotation would be, your fish tag number. So if there's 25 people aboard, then we would just start at the top and start with number 1 and then go to the bottom and do 25 and then 2 and 24 and then get to the middle and then start over again. And depending upon, if they're biting and we're catching fish on the kite, then we might change the rotation up. If there's several people that are on board that have caught a fish by using the kite, then we would go to the people that don't have a fish that on the kite, and so that would be the way that we would work that.
For a guy that's been fishing and has never been on a boat that they've flown a kite, what are the scenarios that you use? Why is it that you use a kite, and what are the scenarios that line up for you to decide to put one up?
Well, fish boiling on the surface and people having trouble getting a bite, fly lining a bait, and the aspect that you can use heavy tackle. You can use you can use 80 pound, you can use 100 pound, and you can use large circle hooks, and we use a double sardine rig that goes out there, and so that's
that's because
the number 2 reason why we fish with a kite is that you can use heavy tackle, so your chances of landing a fish when you get a fish on a kite rig go up exponentially because of that heavy tackle aspect.
And that's because the baits are presented from up above, so the bait's splashing on the surface, but the hook and the line, they're out of the water.
Above of that,
so
yeah.
all
exactly.
that fish sees is the belly of the bait with no hook, no line, no nothing, and they're
Precisely,
swimming, They're swimming around, making a commotion, but they're not getting away for some reason. It's just the ultimate target for the fish down below.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's the way that we do it: 1 to 25, 2 to 24, and you know, we try to make it so that if everybody had a turn at the kite, then kite fish would be eligible for the jackpot. If we don't get through the whole rotation, then kite fish aren't eligible for the jackpot. And that's how we do it. I'm not sure how other boats do it, but that's the way that we would work the rotation. And if we had 2 kites up, then 1 in 25 would be the first 2 people, and so on.
Charlie, appreciate the phone call. Good question. If somebody is going on a multi-day trip where a kite scenario might be, do they need to bring their own rig?
We have multiple kite rigs that you could use the boat's kite rig.
Cool. Awesome. Charlie, again, appreciate the phone call very much. Next up, let's talk to James. He's calling us from Oceanside this morning. James, good morning. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, Rick, and good morning, Captain.
Morning.
Had a question for you guys. Rick, your show recently focused on fly fishing, and was talking with a fly fishing buddy of mine about knots and geeky stuff like that, and he mentioned the perfection loop knot. I was wondering if you had any experience with that, or if you were the captain, knew if this was. I've tried to tie it, and it's a pretty easy knot to tie, and it seems to me that it might be a good substitute for a ringed hook in terms of letting the hook, the bait swim freely. I was wondering if any of you guys had experience with that or knew if it was feasible for what we do down here. And then also going to Cedros with my brother and wanted to know your advice on what month you think would be the best to go to Cedros.
Art, what do you think?
I've had in the past we used to use a perfection loop all the time for trolling lures.
Mm-hmm.
That was something because it was a heavy monofilament knot that you could tie, and exactly what you're saying. It's like having a ringed hook. I don't know. We've gotten away from using that knot because of some of the other ones that are out there that the breaking strength is greater. I don't know. I'm going to have to get with my buddy Norm Fujimoto here and see what the breaking strength of a perfection loop is.
Norm would definitely be the guy.
Yeah, and so it's a knot that we used to use exclusively for all of our trolling lures because it would get the hook back out of the head of the feather, so it would be back at the
spacer,
a little spacer. So that was a reason to use that, and just haven't used it a whole lot recently.
I know that, like you say, via the Iserline knot tying contest, that the perfection loop definitely does not break, quote unquote, as strong, so he doesn't get as much pound out of like a San Diego knot or some of the other knots. So I think that's probably one of the things that people have maybe gotten away from it. But I always crack up because I'm sure 90% of every marlin and tuna caught by every, pongero in Baja is all that. I mean, that is still way overwhelmingly the knot that's tied for everything.
No
Hooks,
kidding.
leaders, line. Just about every local boat captain I fish with in Mexico still all tie to perfection loop. So, we may say via breaking strength it's not as strong, but boy, I know that is accounted for. That's still the knot that all the local captains tie down there, at least the vast majority of them. So.
No kidding.
What
Great.
about Cedros, Art? If you were picking a day to go on the Cedros or go on the Searcher, with Cedros being a potential destination, if you had to pick a favorite month, when would it be?
In the past 2 or 3 years, July, beginning of August has been an awesome time, but that time frame from July through September is obviously prime. We've had some pretty incredible trips in June down there as well. Spring fishing at Cedros is always fun, and whenever you go to that island, you got a chance at a nice big yellowtail. It hasn't been all that hot here the last month or so, but I'm sure that it'll come back around.
No doubt about that.
It's a great place to fish.
James, appreciate the phone call very much. Thanks for that. Kevin in Huntington Beach, not a whole lot of time, about 60 seconds. Can sneak a quick one in for you. Got a quick question for Art, Kevin?
Well, yeah, Kevin, Justin, and I want to thank Art for 14 great years in a row on the Searcher.
Thank you, Kevin.
Incredible operation. My quick question is, Wahoo Lures, is a smaller lure better? Someone said there's less chance they're going to dog bone it and bite it sideways if you use a smaller raider. What do you think?
Great question.
That's a great question. We've seen it both ways. I guess next year you're going to have to bring a smaller raider lure and try it out. You think about the size of a sardine and maybe a larger raider lure is a little bit bigger than that, and they do dog bone it, and so that would be something to try for sure. Yeah. Absolutely something to try.
There's never a perfect answer with Wahoo. They're about as humbling of a fish as they come, and a larger lure keeps the hook farther away from the line, so you could get away with maybe not tying a piece of wire. And anytime you're not fishing wire, you're rolling the dice. We always say in the tackle store, if you fish without wire, you're going to lose your lure. Period.
Yes.
It's going to happen. It may not happen on the first one, and you may get 5 or 6 before it goes away, or you may have 5 or 6 in a row where a fish doesn't even come close to the deck. But you'll get bit better. So a longer lure keeps the hook away from the line a little bit, but like you say, it could dog them. There's no perfect answer when it comes to wahoo fishing. There just isn't. That is as humbling of a fish as can be when they're snapping, but a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, true.
That's fun.
I'm fishing a live bait. It's easier.
There you go. Kevin, appreciate the phone call. Glad you had such a good trip, and hopefully the next one's just as good. Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out who's got themselves a brand new pair of Maui Jim sunglasses for Let's Talk Hookup. Coming your way on the Mighty 1090.
For decades, the Kona Kai has been considered San Diego's premier marina resort and spa. Now, with millions of dollars in upgrades, the Kona Kai Resort is a destination for travelers worldwide who can live it every day. The docks and services are the finest quality in San Diego, and the Kona Kai is the closest marina to the open ocean. As a marina tenant, you enjoy many benefits, including secured free parking, a deluxe health club, swimming pool, and more. Enjoy discounts at their restaurant, bar, and hotel. If you don't have a boat, there are memberships available at a very affordable price. The Kona Kai Club has been offering members a home away from home since 1953. Members can spend their days on Kona Kai's private beach, meet new people in the club's modern lounge, share a meal with family at Vessel Restaurant and Bar, or pamper themselves in Spa Terra. Check out ResortKonakai.com on the web for more information, to reserve a slip, or inquire about joining the club. The Kona Resort, like being on vacation every day in your own backyard. What a tuna and yellowtail season last year. Many say the best in 30 years. Could this season be even better? Don't be caught without the right gear. Now is the time to stock up on the trolling lure that proved to be the best. X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Every X-Rap Magnum runs perfect right out of the box. They all have extreme action and a controlled deep diving aggressive swimming motion. The large diving lip partners with premium VMC hooks and an irresistible rattle. The X-Rap Magnum by Rapala can be trolled at high speeds without rolling or kicking out at depths to 15 feet. Bottom line, the X-Rap Magnum is the ultimate trolling lure for Southern California and Baja saltwater fishing. With a textured translucent body, internal holographic foil, and 3D holographic eye, X-Rap Magnums are irresistible to saltwater game fish. Available in a variety of colors and sizes. No matter what you choose, the fish can't resist X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Ask your local tackle dealer which is the hottest color and size and start catching more fish. See the entire line at Rapala.com.
Saturday, November 5th, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Our largest sale ever. Seminars by saltwater experts, incredible deals on tackle. Over 20 tackle manufacturers like Shimano, with great products like Talica, Tranx, Trinidad A, and Terramar. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 5th.
When you put on a pair of Maui Jim sunglasses, the world begins to look different. Colors are more vivid. Contrast is clearer. Details are crisper. Wherever your vision leads you, beauty follows. With polarized lenses that eliminate glare and enhance color, Maui Jim sunglasses won't change the world. They'll change the way you see it. Color, clarity, detail. Maui Jim.
No matter the fishing conditions, count on the Seaguar family of fluorocarbon leader material to help you catch more fish. Fluoro Premier has a smaller diameter with the highest break strength. Plus, it is super soft. When bites are tough, tie on Fluoro Premier. Blue Label is tough as nails with incredible abrasion resistance and impact strength. And new Pink Label is the choice for tough light conditions, giving you a little more visibility for better line control. Pick up a spool of Seaguar at your favorite tackle dealer or visit seaguar.com.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
The best NFL coverage is right here. San Diego's sports leader, the Mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Here at the brand new winner of a pair of Surf Rider Maui Jim sunglasses is going to John in Lakeside. John, congratulations. I assure you, you will love those Maui Jims. There is nothing better. And speaking of nothing better, Art can't begin to thank you enough for spending 2 hours with us. It blows me away how fast 2 hours can go by.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Awesome, man. We really appreciate it. So many people said so many great things about the Searcher, and I couldn't agree more with all of them. So much fun fishing with you, with all the boys on the boat, and Celia and Jen in the office. If somebody wants to get in on all the fun and go on a trip on the Searcher, what's the best way to do it?
Well, SearcherSportFishing.com. The 2017 schedule is available now, and you can book online through the website, or you can call Celia at 619-226-2403.
Awesome. Great job, Art. We really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging with us, talking all kinds of fishing, and wish you continued success as you round out the rest of the season and get ready for maintenance and natural history. And it was just been an awesome one, and we really appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
With us. You got it, Art. Hey, we got another great show coming for you tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. Captain Russell O'Neill of Journeyman Sport Fishing is going to be on the show. We're going to be talking big tuna. You stay tuned. Another great show coming for you tomorrow morning right here on the Mighty 1090.